Good afternoon. It's Celeste of Astrology by Celeste. Yes, it is. On this beautiful Friday. Yes. Let's hope we have no problems with Mercury is going retrograde. Hi, Blossom. Hi, Santa Flu. Welcome, welcome, everyone. I'm so excited for this conversation. Let me make sure I can hit this for Kira. Here she is. Okay, let's see, did that work? Yay! Okay, we're on, we're going, we're great. We're not going to have any Mercury retrograde problems.
I've made it.
It's so good to see you.
Good morning. Oh, I'll move over to some better light for you. How are you?
I am good. I am good. It's beautiful energy today. I'm loving it.
Oh, I know. I'm right. Well, it's a weekend for me, so I'm ready to do some relaxing, actually.
Mm-hmm. Well, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. So, oh my goodness, I am Kira Sutherland. I don't know if I've ever told you this, Celeste, but my middle name is Celeste. Did I ever tell you that?
Oh, right. I love it.
Yeah, I almost did my business as celestial astrology, but anyway, didn't make enough. It didn't make enough sense for my health astrology. So
I think you have the right name.
Yeah. So I am, my wonky accent. I'm American born, but I live in Australia my whole adult life. And I am an astrologer, obviously. But I'm also a naturopath, nutritionist. Oh, my mouth has to wake up. Herbalist. And so I practice medical astrology or health. I should call it health astrology, really. So it's been around forever. But the way I practice is kind of a modern, there's traditional basics to it, but kind of a modern looking at your overall chart for how to support your health.
I love it. And you're such a wonderful lecturer and teacher. And every time I listen to your work, you just share so much useful information. So I'm so excited to talk to you.
Yay.
And I don't think it could be any more perfect with Mercury in Virgo.
I know.
About to go retrograde, and we're going to talk about health astrology.
I just had someone text me about that too. They're like, there's a lot retrograde. And now this Mercury, I can't remember, what day is it going retrograde? I haven't even looked. I'm just waiting for this new moon is what I'm waiting for.
And for us in the US, it's on Sunday.
The new moon or Mercury retro?
Both.
So I haven't even looked at the planets. Day. Oh, same day. It is the same day. That's right. Sorry. I've been finishing a lecture for the last 3 days. I've been locked away doing PowerPoint lectures, and I literally have not looked up. So I'm like, where's the planets? What day am I? What country am I in? I better get myself together before the retro.
Yeah, because I think it's going to be, we'll see what it happens, but we're going to have the new moon in Leo with Venus at 29 Leo. And then
that's right.
The retrograde, Mercury goes retrograde and Venus goes into Virgo the same day. So there's going to be a big energetic shift that I think knocks people, a little bit off their axis. Like in the US, we're having like some stock market stuff going on, and other places of the world, it may be different stuff. But I really want to talk to you about like, how do we manage with all this Uranian energy? Any suggestions you have about how to stay grounded from?
Yeah. Well, we just first need to remember that we're in a physical body. I think that's the problem with Uranian energy is we get so wired up, and Uranus is like the higher octave of Mercury. So if Mercury is the physical nervous system, Uranus is like the messages being sent via the nervous system. And yes, it can wire us up. We can feel more anxious with all this Mercury. With all this Virgo energy and then things going retrograde as well. We really just need to slow it down. We're in Leo, right? So it's hard to slow down, but we need to slow it down. And it is literally the little nourishing things we do every day. It's not about the big overhaul. It's not about being, heroic with our health. It's literally like, am I moving my body? Am I drinking enough fluid? Like it's a great time to do a checklist. Like write down all the little things you can do for your health. Like the baby things, like starting the day with an amazing breakfast rather than cereal or something. Yeah, I'm anti-cereal. And no boxes. Start the day with something amazing and simple and lots of protein, and just little checklist, to-do list with your health. And also, I would even, with the retrograde, it's a great time to revisit stuff, as we all know. But it's like, what are the health things you started at the beginning of the year that you've let drop? So again, it's not about doing everything every day, but find that checklist, write down all the appointments you need to reschedule, that, have you been to the dentist and all that stuff, and just, slowly, gently work on it. But it's a bit tricky with that Leo, because we want to do it all, but the Virgo is asking us to just go slow.
Oh, I love that. That's just such a great thing. Yeah, remember to like do some stretching, or get up and go for a walk if you're feeling like your anxiety levels get like start to go up, or take a break from the news if it starts to overwhelm you and that sort of thing.
Can it not lately? Like, oh my God, it's crazy. It's crazy. I had missed some major news story in the last week too. And then someone was talking to me about it. I was like, is there more stuff happening? What? I can't believe it.
It's like every day it's something. Yeah.
I know. So with Leo energy, a lot of our stress gets centered around our heart, or what people would call your heart chakra. So when we get stressed at the moment, it's really around that chest region. So lots of stretching, foam roller to like lengthen the back, or just roll up a towel and stretch your back across it. And with the Virgo energy coming in, that brings in that anxiety as well of the nervous system. And one of my favorite things is actually, some people would have heard this, soda water, or club soda, you would call it, or sparkling mineral water is really good when you drink it to kind of open up the chest area, with the bubbles going through. But it also gives you more carbon dioxide, which, when we're stressed, we breathe very shallow, and we have too much oxygen sitting in our system, which makes us feel even more nervous. So by drinking the carbon dioxide, it kind of relaxes the body and the nervous system. It's like doing breathing exercises, but it's hydrating at the same time.
I am a shallow breather, and I drink at least 2 of these a day, these sparkling water. So I'm glad to know that it has
I'm just
positive,
moving around. Yeah.
It has some
and
positive benefits.
Just not ones with sugar, right?
No, it's sugar.
Just going to point that out.
It's just water with bubbles in it.
I couldn't see it, so I'm just moving around. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. So, soda water is one of my faves. It's just such an easy go-to. And if we're feeling anxious, you can also carry around your soda water bottle, but nobody knows. It's kind of like your little security blanket to feel better. And that's what I love.
Oh, I'd love that. Should we go through all the signs with little tips?
Oh, sure. Okay. Oh, I got to get my brain going.
Yeah.
I haven't had a coffee.
So, do you recommend, when you're giving people advice, are you giving them advice based on their sun sign, if you're doing something general, or what sign do you look to? What planet do you look to when you're talking about that?
In medical astrology, I look to the natal chart. So, and you're always going to look at the big 3, right? Mm-hmm. Sun is kind of who we are. It's our core energy and vitality. Although we don't, it's the body area where we can have ailments and injuries, but we're often pretty good at expressing that sun sign. We look to the moon because that's our digestion. It's how we nourish ourselves, it's our emotions. It's why we eat. And then we look to the ascendant because the ascendant is actually in charge of the physical body. So it's, that doorway into the chart, as I'm sure you always teach.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the doorway into your physical body. So sometimes I get people to have a bigger focus on their ascendant, even over their sun, because it tends to be the area that causes us more problems than our sun sign.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we do tips, definitely you can do the tips for any of the three.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's start with Aries. I'm a moon in Aries,
Oh,
so
are
I'm
you?
interested to
Oh.
see what you have to say about the moon.
So,
I mean, Aries.
Aries is, as we know, they're excited. I'm an Aries, so
Uh-huh.
excitable. We push it, we kind of overexpend our energy, and then we're exhausted. It rules the head, so we do tend to injuries of the head, or if you get sick, it'll really sit up in the head. But the big one for them is the adrenals, supporting the adrenal glands. Which is they're the little organs that create all your stress hormones. So, um, supporting those with green tea over too much coffee, or, not too many stimulants. Oh my gosh, what else is good for Aries? Lots of magnesium rich foods, lots of B vitamin rich foods. Um, yeah, just remembering they have to relax as much as they have to, run around and do a million things. So I think for Aries, it's giving them permission to rest as well.
I love that. Yes, I can get myself very excited
Well,
about
and they
things.
just and they get so excited they forget to rest or forget to sleep. They actually do really well going to bed early and waking up early. That's fabulous for them. Whereas Taurus, this is fixed earth. Taurus it rules the throat, the thyroid, upper shoulders. Always good for Taurus to have a massage if they love a massage. They will hold a lot of their physical tension through their shoulders. So lots of great stretching through there as well. With Taurus, they need to watch their indulgences. It's ruled by Venus. It's about pleasure. They love their, fine wine, fine cheese. You're really,
You're telling all my secrets
I
as a
know.
Taurus. Not that it's a big secret. As
I
a
know.
Taurus sun, yeah,
I always,
carry all my tension in my neck, like my feel good stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So again, indulgences and treats are great, but maybe not every day.
Mhm.
And they do well with a lot of great lighter veggies. You're in the middle of summer right now,
Mhm.
so lots of salad, lots of steamed veg.
Yeah, I
They
love
do
salad.
love stodgier food, but that will often make them feel weighted down. So a lot of lighter food, lots of greens,
I
and
love that.
lots of fluid to keep the system flowing. They're not the most likely sign to constipation, but I'll give them second place. So,
Mhm.
fiber, water, hot water and lemon, always good for them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to
Yeah.
start my days with hot water and lemon. I haven't been good about it lately,
Yeah.
but I feel like that's a good like little liver
Oh, yeah.
boost.
Great for
Yeah.
the liver, great to kind of get the bowels going. If you're drinking, just a caveat for everybody, if you're drinking a lot of lemon juice in your water, you should actually drink it through a straw, or the acid from the lemon can slowly
Mhm.
damage the teeth.
Okay. Okay, that's good
A
to
lot
know.
of people don't know that. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Gemini. Gemini. Questions about Taurus?
No, no, that's great. Yeah,
Okay.
no, this was a good
Okay.
one.
Gemini. This is part rulership of the lungs, the arms, the hands, but it's the nervous system. Again, air signs tend to forget that they're living in a body, so getting them grounded. Root vegetables, walking barefoot, grounding foods. Um, remembering to rest, trying to shut the brain off at night. Again, they do really well with lots of magnesium and B vitamin rich foods. What else do they need?
What would you
Lots
call a
of,
grounding food
oh,
besides root vegetables?
yeah, like your root
Okay.
vegetables. Yeah, basically root vegetables. So I can get them to make soups, or like get them to bake sweet potato or yams. Um, things made in a slow cooker. You're in the middle of summer. You're not going to want to do that. Oh, sorry. I'm in really cold weather right now in Australia. So I'm all about the soups. Also things like avocado, your olive oil, coconut oil, your seeds and nuts, things with great healthy oils, oily fish to nourish the nervous system.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. They get a bit tired and wired. And so they need that grounding and that dispelling of energy.
Especially now with Jupiter and Gemini, like I'm telling a lot of my clients, be mindful. It
Yeah.
makes everything bigger. So if
Yeah.
you're doing the right, like things that are calming yourself, that's
Yeah.
great. But if
Our,
you've got that nervous energy, it can
yeah.
really
Our
get
nervous
going.
system is really wiring it up for everybody. And the
Mm-hmm.
worry with, Jupiter rules the liver,
Mm-hmm.
among other things, rules the blood. But the worry is when we feel big stress, a lot of people reach for alcohol to de-stress, and it's not the greatest option for de-stressing.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of alcohol now and then, but I'm finding people are really going for the alcohol at the moment when they're stressed. And there's exercise, sleep, getting into the water, be it an ocean, a bathtub, a foot bath, dispelling the stress in another way besides alcohol is really smart.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow I feel like everybody's talking about margaritas at the moment. I don't know why. I'm like, what's going on? Why is everyone discussing alcohol all of a sudden? So yeah, yeah.
That's so interesting. Well, Venus and Leo, I mean, it's like raise a glass energy.
I know. And Leo energy is so celebratory anyway,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in the US, we just had July and now we're to August, and it's celebration time. And it is, summer is a sit around and relax time. But yeah, you will, you know, once it gets out of Leo, it goes to Virgo, and then you're like, oh my God, I got to get my stuff together. So just don't go too far out of bounds. Bring it back before you get to Virgo and pay the price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. What about Cancer?
So Cancer is the stomach. It's all your nourishing organs. But stomach is the big one for Cancer. So being gentle with their digestion. A lot of Cancerians love their dairy food, which can make them quite mucusy. I'm not saying you can't have dairy, but they'll go for a lot of sweets and dairy, like ice cream and things like that. For Cancerians, I guess what I would ask is really watch when you're hungry, and eating when hungry versus eating when you're trying to change your emotional state, because Cancer has, it's ruled by the moon. It's so, emotionally aware and sensitive. How to explain this? A lot of our what are called neurotransmitters, which are these chemicals in your body that make you feel different, like serotonin or dopamine. People are talking about those lately. Serotonin makes us feel good, and we know instinctually our body knows eating certain foods increases your serotonin levels. So a lot of times, a lot of us, not just Cancerians, are eating to try to change that emotional state. So it's just good before you eat, when you know it's not time to eat, if you just kind of sit back and go, okay, where emotionally am I at, and can I address that, rather than just trying to eat to address it. I'm not saying all Cancers do that all the time, but that's actually good advice for all of us.
Yeah, I'm a Cancer rising,
Oh my God,
and
we've
when I
hit
get
you
stressed,
early, haven't we? Yeah, you reach
when I'm
for the
stressed,
food.
when I liked my food, and when I'm stressed, yeah, I can do that. Oh, what feels good? What tastes good? What'll
Yeah.
make me? Yeah.
And are you like cookies or ice
No,
cream
I'm
or
not a
chocolate, or
sweets
you're
person.
savory?
I'm
Yeah,
savory. I'm crunchy. Yeah. I
crunch is good. Potato
yeah.
chips. Yeah.
Potato chips, French fries are my like
Oh
my
yeah.
my
Uh-huh.
indulgences.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In Australia, we call those hot chips.
Uh,
And potato hot chips, French fries, or potato chips are they're they're the perfect food for, I don't want to say addiction, but to keep going back, because you got good carb, which is a sugar. There's fat that's been added to them, and there's salt. So that's like hitting all the trigger points in our brain of us wanting more. So, and there's nothing wrong with having it every now and then, but yeah. I'm the person who actually can't purchase potato chips because I'll eat them all in one day.
Yeah, I try to keep them out of my house, although I bought some yesterday and already.
I know. Someone brought some to my house last night, and I was like, oh, well, look at that. They're in olive oil, though. They're better for me.
Well, Venus is squared Uranus yesterday, so it was like, or today it's squared. Like, it's like impulsively
I
buying like
know.
something a treat that you like. So it's in the
Yeah.
energy.
So I'm Jupiter ruled. I'm a Pisces rising, and my moon is in Sag, so I'm a double Jupiter. So for those with really strong Jupiters to their chart, um, we tend not to be great at knowing quantities to eat.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to we just eat for the pleasure of, oh my God, this is amazing, and I just want more. Venus can do this a little bit, but more Jupiter. And yeah, I have to be really cautious of quantity. Like I have to consciously go, no, that's the quantity I get. Or if I go to buy potato chips, I will buy the small bag, because if I buy the big bag, I eat it as well.
Well, that's good. You have so much discipline. Where's your Saturn? Can I ask?
My Saturn is in the first house. So my Jupiter goes crazy, and then my Saturn does come in, and it's like, what are you doing? Let's get this together. But yeah, I flip flop between the two.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so I can't. Yeah, people would say I'm disciplined. I don't think I am, but I am. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you're in great shape, so I assume you're doing something.
Ooh. It's effort. It's an effort. So I was talking to a friend. I was away on a girls' weekend last weekend, and someone was like, because I'm very tall. If people haven't met me, I'm like almost 5'10", and so I do get a higher calorie count than someone that's 5'1", but I do a lot of sport as well, and my job is food, right? So I am my own advertisement in some ways, or I need to be. But someone was like, oh yeah, well, you don't have to worry about that. You never gain weight. You always look at, I'm like, what? No, that's like my daily job, is trying to stay fit and healthy. And they just, there's always that assumption when you look at somebody that it's easy or hard. I'm like, no, I work harder than most. It's probably why I became a health practitioner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we're on Leo. Oh, question.
Yeah. I wanted to ask a question. I hope it's not too personal, though.
Oh, no, you can do it. I'm an Aries.
Is there something in your childhood, do you think, that really focused you on having to,
yeah,
like, ooh, I want the cookie, I want the 5 cookies, and then you like had this learning of.
That's a great question. Really, it's more, I mean, food as a reward. It's very hard as a parent not to use food as a reward.
Okay.
I think that's because food is celebration, right? Like it's tricky because we guilt people. They're like, you shouldn't use food as a reward with your kids. But we tend to, think about it. When we celebrate and we gather, food is that thing we gather over. The Italians are so good at it. And so I think we all learned that to an extent. But I come from my genetics. One side of my family is tall. I'm built like a Viking, right? I'm not like this really skinny little thing. I would have made a good shield maiden. But it's my fantasy, really. Yeah. No, I am Scottish background, so I'll take it. Scottish and Norwegian. No, one side of my family is kind of tall and strong, but the other side of my family can be really big, can gain weight really easily. And so from a very young age, I watched a lot of people really struggle with their weight and have to learn how to eat. So I saw a lot of family members dieting. And I thought, okay, that looks really hard, and I better start reading to figure out how not to get in that situation. And that's probably what happened. My,
So interesting. Yeah.
my family is very health conscious,
Uh-huh.
the family I grew up in, but yeah, treats are treats, right?
Yeah.
And yummy food is, yeah. Mm.
Yeah. It's hard not to
Yeah.
treat yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm going to show my age here. I grew up in the low fat era, where
Mm.
carbs were allowed and fat was naughty. And I think that caused a lot of problems for a lot of people. So again, we were at the time, science was telling us one thing that wasn't quite correct. And what I think a lot of people don't realize, I'm going very nutritional here instead of astrological. Nutrition is a baby science. It has only really been around for 100 and some odd years of really deciphering what should we eat. And we keep getting it wrong, and we keep figuring out more. So it's a frustrating science. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. And do you recommend different diets to different people based on their astrology?
Yeah. Yeah. I recommend not always different sometimes that comes up. Like if I have a really Jupiter focused person or chart, we will look more at higher fat, lower carbohydrate diets, because they crave, Jupiter rules fats. And so they really crave that fat creaminess. And so we play with that. I do that also with transits, right? Jupiter going through the 1st or the 6th, we make sure there's enough fats in the diet, but we also make sure they're not gaining. Jupiter also rules weight gain.
Yeah. I'm a little nervous about Jupiter and Cancer next year. I'm already thinking about it. Like, okay, I gotta get myself together while Jupiter's in my 12th house, so that I don't.
Yeah. And especially because the 12th house isn't conscious of its boundaries, and the 12th house doesn't feel full, right? It doesn't have the awareness of time to stop. So yeah, Jupiter in the 12th, you gotta pull it, get organized now, Celeste.
Because that could be my experience June 9th, getting on the scale. What happened?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes I do specific diets depending on what their natal chart is, but often I employ different styles of diet depending on the transits happening to them specifically. Although again, if a Sagittarius shows up and they're like, I need to go on a diet, I'm like, oh, okay, we need to gamification this eating, because just giving them strict boundaries, they won't like it and they won't do it. So it's more, I go after the psychology of different signs for different styles of eating with what they're asking. And it's just such a great tool to understand someone's astrological makeup when you're working on their health, right?
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. No, it works well. Okay. It's a real gift to have found it. Yeah.
Oh, there's a question here.
Oh, sure.
Marcus is asking, what happens on the new moon? It's just a new moon in Leo on Sunday. Always a new start. Would you say anything else about it?
Yeah. So I love using the new moon. If you study moon stuff, which I'm sure a lot of people online do, new moon to full moon is about growing and creating things. And then full moon to dark of the moon, releasing, letting go, consolidating. Traditionally in astrology, they talked about weight loss was best. I don't know, I'm on a weight loss gig here, but weight loss was best, or changing habits like that you want to get rid of, they would talk about doing it from the full moon to the new moon, because you're releasing. I don't actually find that works for people very well, especially if we're trying to change health habits and release things, because releasing a habit is one thing, but creating a new habit is something else. And so even for weight loss, I get people to start weight loss. This is the perfect time to do this chat. I get them to start it on the new moon, because it's the idea that you're creating a new you. You're doing the transformation into what you want to be. And I find it's much easier energy for people to do that new moon to full moon.
I agree. I think so. too. And this is a great new moon to think about changing your habits with Mercury and Virgo going
Oh God,
retrograde.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's really see what's really there.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend the fantasy that it's not what it's not. We're
No.
getting down to business and we're making like the little changes, just like you
Yeah.
said. I
Yeah.
love
And
that.
I would even in the retrograde, I would be like, it's time to really clean the kitchen. Like go in, and I know it's getting rid of food, but you can donate it, the packaged food that you get rid of everything in the house that you don't want to be eating, right? Clean up all the cupboards, tidy it up, get rid of some appliances you don't need. Like I would do the big kitchen overhaul while Mercury's in Virgo retro. That would be a great time. Just all that stuff that ends up in your house because people came over that you don't normally eat, but you might accidentally eat. Just get rid of it. Do the big purge and, Marie Kondo your kitchen is what I would do. And you're eating the fridge, clean out the fridge,
I need to
you
do
know,
that. Yeah.
it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
I like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I'm Pluto in very late Virgo, so I get a little bit of a dopamine hit when I clean the fridge.
I have Pluto and late Virgo too. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Should I go back to the signs? The poor
Yes.
people are probably waiting for the rest of the signs.
Yeah.
So I think now we're on
Mm-hmm.
Leo. I kind of gave Leo that
You
hint
gave
around the
Leo at the
soda water.
beginning. Yeah.
And
You
then
did Leo and Virgo.
yeah,
Yeah.
Leo also movement for all the movement for everybody, but the fire signs really need some movement. The fire signs, all the fire signs really need a good amount of protein in their diet. Whether you choose to be vegetarian or omnivore, you just got to focus on that protein. Kitty cats live on protein. So unless you have serious kidney issues, where you have to be cautious how much protein you eat, especially the Leos need a good protein source, especially first thing in the morning. That's really for everybody though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Virgo, cleaning out your fridge. No, Virgo nervous system, but this is now small intestines digestion. And so Virgo has this, rulership of what we call the autonomic nervous system, digest, relax, fight, flight. And they really need to make sure before they eat that they're not rushing around or eating in the car or eating while standing up. They need to sit and they need to tell themselves, hey, I'm about to eat. Let's smell it. Let's taste it. Let's slow down and turn on our relaxed digest system because they can get really stuck up in what we call sympathetic dominance, which is like fight, flight. So bitter foods, like bitter greens, olives, citrus, things that help our digestive system, help to tell our body we're about to eat. And we end up absorbing more nutrients that way. And that's where Virgo has some difficulty.
Okay.
Yeah, Libra, another Venus ruled sign. So socially indulging is a pastime. It's kind of a sport for them. So again, being cautious about overindulging, getting moving, getting exercising for Libra. If you're a Libra that struggles with exercise, that's because you need to be doing it socially. They have a walking partner that you promise you're going to meet at 7 a.m. somewhere so that you don't let somebody else down. You'll automatically go. Or joining a gym that's really social, something, doubles tennis, doubles pickleball, or whatever everyone's into now. And hydration. It rules the urinary system or the kidneys, and they need to really watch their hydration and their electrolytes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scorpio. You get a lot of rulership, but Scorpio, I'm going to go over the bigger picture. Scorpio rules all the like detoxification channels of the body. And so they need to make sure I'm not saying you have to go on a big detox diet, but just making sure channels are open and flowing. Large intestines can be a bit slow. Constipation is a common thing for them. Just making sure, everything is flowing and sweating is great for them, be it a sauna or a hot bath or exercise. getting a Scorpio sweating is actually incredible for their health.
Because I feel like they can like soak up and just hold on to
Everything.
yeah,
Yes, especially in
everything.
the bowels. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, giving their body time to, detox and release. And yeah. I'm trying to think what else. We're on to Sag, liver, locomotion, bum or bottom, hips, thighs, movement.
Oh, I can't hear you. Did you hit mute?
Oh, I didn't mean to. No.
No. Okay, you're back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know what happened. Um, Sages, again, curtailing it, not overdoing it. Again, they'll eat too much, they'll drink too much. Just watching your portions, keeping your liver happy. Hot water and lemons, great for the liver. Dandelion root coffee or tea is great. Again, if on any herb, be cautious if you're on any medication, make sure it doesn't interact with any herbs or herbal teas you're taking. Um, yeah, movement for them. And realizing they don't have to entertain everybody all the time and exhaust themselves. It's okay for them to not be the clown of the zodiac. What else? Let's see. Capricorn. Capricorn needs warming up. They have a cold digestion. It's a cold, dry sign. So, making sure they get in enough fluid, and warming fluid is great for them. Or, warm teas. They rule the skeleton and the skin. So making sure they're eating enough calcium-rich food. What else do I want to say about Capricorns? Just nourishing themselves. And, the other thing about Capricorn is they can feel a bit melancholic at times. They can feel a bit sad. And music is amazing for them to shift their mood. That's probably one of the best things I ever learned about them. When you feel like you're in that little slump, getting your favorite music on and dancing around by yourself, or going out dancing, whatever works for you, is amazing.
So, here's a
Oh,
question. So,
yeah.
Brody wants to know, is it okay to buy a new car on the new moon with Mercury retrograde? And I would highly recommend you not buy a new car with Mercury retrograde.
No, do not do that. No, you got to wait. Don't rush out. Wait a couple weeks. My husband's looking at cars at the moment too, and I'm like, not for a month. You got to wait. Yeah, things go haywire. Or it'll have some weird thing that with lights that can't be fixed, or the engine light will always flash, but there's nothing wrong with it. I had that once. Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's just not the right time.
No. Where were we? I did Capricorn. Aquarius. Grounding.
Oh, Lauren, you can listen for your sun, moon, and rising.
Yeah, absolutely. Aquarius, circulation as well as nervous system. It's also the ankles and the calves. They get a lot of cramps in their calves, or cramps in the body in general. So they really need to watch their electrolytes. So magnesium, sodium. Again, if you have high blood pressure and medicated for high blood pressure, don't go drinking a bunch of sodium. But electrolytes and hydration is really good for them. Just making sure they have a good mineral balance in their diet with lots of veggies. But yeah, electrolytes. Sometimes I use electrolyte mixes with them, but you can get ones that have more magnesium than sodium, which can be great for them. And again, be cautious if you're on medication. And then we got gorgeous little Pisces. So that Pisces, we've talked about Jupiter ruled signs and not overeating, being careful. Pisces will, they feel so much. They will often try to escape or avoid how they're feeling by using food, substances, alcohol. So just being careful and finding other outlets to keep yourself safe rather than using foods or wine or whatever. You also rule the immune, you have a big immune system rulership. So Pisces will often catch colds and flus more easily than other signs. And they often feel bad about it. People are like, oh my God, you're always sick. And it's like, well, you kind of absorb everything around you. So just if you've got a strong Pisces chart, just know that's kind of part of who you are, and be more cautious. Yeah. Be, your vitamin C and your zinc foods, and, sugar and alcohol suppress the immune system. Just remember that. Yeah. But not beating yourself up when you get sick, because you do get sick more often than other signs.
Yeah. So true. Yeah. Oh, this was good advice. Christino said, research the new car during Mercury retrograde. Don't buy.
Perfect time. Perfect time.
Yeah, great time to review and have the different cars you like and the little check marks on the different ones. That would be so perfect for this Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, I love seeing everybody saying what they have depending on their sign. I don't love that you all have illnesses, but it always comes out like that, right?
Oh yeah. The sunshine is such a key with that.
Yeah. And rising sign, right? Making sure you're really supporting that rising sign. I love medical astrology because sometimes people show up and they don't know their rising sign, or they're a bit off with their time of birth, and they're like, oh, my mom doesn't know between these 2 hours. And then you start going through their health history, and it's often really obvious between two signs. Like there was someone the other day that we were like, is this an Aquarius rising or is a Pisces rising? And now that I've known this person for like 4 months, I'm like, no, they literally have a head cold every single month. This is absolutely a Pisces rising. Yeah, you can just click it in that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind now with my Pisces clients.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Or just when you don't know a rising, when you have sort of a time of birth, but not quite. It's so frustrating. And you can often, watch transits to that ascendant and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I do rectification too.
Oh, do you? Oh, that's good to know, because I don't. I send them to other people, so I'll send them to you.
Oh, yes, please do. Please do. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like that as a puzzle, going and searching what's going on?
I do. And it's like when people don't know their rising sign, but they're so interested in astrology, and you help them find it and show them how things showed up, they get so excited, and it just like opens up this whole new world to yourself to be able to to see.
I'm so glad to hear that. I rarely will. No, I won't read a chart anymore without a rising sign. I mean, if they're close, I'll play with it to get it, but without a rising sign at all, no, that sounds terrible. But I'm missing so much information that I feel like I'm floundering in the dark if I don't have. I'm a very house-focused astrologer, not house system, because that's too controversial. But in medical astrology, there's a huge placement, a huge influence of what house planets sit into your health and what to go do about it. I'm actually like 3/4 of the way done with a book on medical astrology in the houses. I'm just about, it'll be done in the next 2 months. I'll let you know.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, as a Pisces rising, do you think you're going to publish it after the North Node goes into Pisces?
Ooh.
But, we have this lunar eclipse coming, so maybe that coincides with your Pisces.
I'm a 0-degree North Node Aries.
So okay, so you're coming up to your nodal return.
Yeah. So I will hit somebody else up for when to publish, because every time I try to do dates for things, I don't quite, it's not my forte. I'll hit somebody else up for that one. I find when we do it for ourselves, we look at the wrong things or we miss something that we should have seen. So yes, I'll hit somebody else for that one. Yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That's really exciting. That you're
I got to finish it, Celeste.
Well, you've got Mars and Jupiter in Gemini right now.
I know.
Are you feeling that?
And Mercury
Feeling that?
retro. I'm actually booked to go away for a couple days, and I think I'm actually just going to go book myself into a hotel and just not speak for 5 days and finish it. That's my plan.
That's perfect for this energy, this Mars and Jupiter.
Yeah.
Square Saturn
Yeah.
in Pisces. So you're going to be alone, Saturn in
Yeah.
Pisces, so that you can focus on
Yeah.
and just pound
I
out this book, Mars
know.
and Jupiter.
I
And
know. I don't know. And for like a year, it's been sitting 3/4 done. So it's time. It's
Mhm.
time.
Oh, what a
Yeah.
perfect. This Mercury retrograde. How perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll probably, I'll have to look at dates for that North
Mm.
Node return. But yeah. Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Exciting. Yeah.
I
So that will
know. And
probably
I'm
be.
seeing you later in the year, aren't I? We're
Yeah,
together later in the
October we'll be
year.
together in, yes, we'll be together in Utah,
Utah.
Park
I'm
City,
so excited.
Utah. It's going to be amazing. The OPA retreat, and you're doing, what is the focus of your talk? I know it's about health,
Medical, it's medical astrology. So
medical.
we're kind of 3 days in a deep dive about learning about general medical astrology and then applying it to all the participants'
Oh,
charts.
oh,
Yeah. So
fantastic. Are you sold
everyone's,
out though?
yeah, I'm sold out.
Okay.
Yes, which is so exciting. I was really worried. I always have this fear that no one's, this is going to sound really silly. When I go to a conference to lecture, I always have a fear no one's going to turn up to the lecture. So having it sell out, I was like, okay, okay, it's okay. I'm okay to go now.
Yes, yes, yes.
What's your topic?
My topic is moon mastery. So it's 3 days
Oh,
about all about the moon and her cycles, and yeah, and
oh,
really deepening your relationship with your own chart, helping you understand others better. And then we're going to like go back in people's lives to see when progress moon changes, all this kind
oh,
of thing, and then going forward. So it's going to be this really comprehensive
oh! I
and
want to come.
I know.
I'll
I
just
want to
sneak
go to your
over.
medical astrology.
I know. I love the moon. I do. Yeah. I have at times done big workshops on the moon and medical astrology. I think I'm
Oh,
due to do one of those. I'm NORWAC next year, and I was just thinking this morning about lectures to give, and I reckon I'm going to do a big moon lecture.
okay.
But
I'm doing NORAC next year
medically.
too.
Oh, are you? Oh,
Yeah,
gosh, awesome.
yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Let's
So we'll
do
be
that.
back together
I
again for two
know. I
conferences.
know. Very
Yeah.
lucky.
I
Mm.
last I heard, I have two more spots for my Moon Mastery 3 day immersion in Park City, Utah, October 16th through 21st. So if
Yeah.
anyone's interested, check it out. It's almost gone.
Almost gone. I think what people
Or
don't even realize is there's only 10 spots per lecture,
Mhm.
right? It's like an intensive, it's amazing, actually.
Yeah,
What a great treat. So I'm flying all the way from Australia for a week.
I love it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love like being in person. It's going to be my first time doing my Moon Mastery in person. And yeah, I'm going to bring in all kinds of stuff for
I
people. I think it's going to
know.
be so good.
I
Yeah.
was just talking about, I originally learned astrology from somebody that now, oop, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yes, you said,
Sorry.
yeah, I originally learned astrology from.
Somebody that did astrodrama. So they have the big chart on the ground
Oh.
and all these planets to hold. And so we all created charts like that. So I have this massive chart that fills up a whole room. And I obviously can't bring that to Utah from Australia because that would be excessive luggage.
Mm.
But I was trying to figure out how to bring a different thing to kind of actually have the chart on the ground and get people to work with their chart medically by being in it.
Mm.
So I'm kind of playing with how to get a chart over there.
What was it made of?
Well, the one I made, my teacher's chart was probably made of like a light chipboard that she painted and had done in a circle. And I got some builders to make me one, and I forgot to say make it light. So mine's made of wood. It weighs like 30 pounds. It comes into pieces. You
Uh-huh.
put it together like a puzzle. I'll
Okay.
find a photo of it and send it to you.
Oh, please do. I
Um,
would love to see what it looks like.
And then my planets, I have two sets of planets, and their one set is made out of like a plastic, like you make signs out of. I can't think of what
Mhm.
that's called. And the other ones are made out of wood, but really thin, like
Mm.
chipboard. Do we call things
Mhm.
chipboard? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
So you actually get people to stand in it and hold the planet and let the planet kind of talk through them. And I have done that medically with clients, but I've never done it in a group. So I might be doing
Ah,
some of that.
yeah. I
Hmm.
wonder if you could probably get, well, maybe something even, I don't know, made that could just be
Oh,
shipped from the United States.
I do have like a batik, like a throw that has the circle on it. I was talking to
Uh,
Kelly Surtees about it
uh-huh.
the other day. We both have one, and I was like, I gotta find it. If I can't find mine, you gotta send me yours. Yeah, it's
I
not
love that
as
idea.
fun as the big puzzle pieces, though. But yeah, that's
Mm.
Australia.
I got to think about creating something like that. Oh, Joanna
Oh,
wants to know what's up with the weight gain and Aquarius risings. Have you noticed
oh.
anything since Pluto went into Aquarius?
Mm, that hasn't really come up. I haven't seen it a lot. Pluto is not about weight gain. So
Yeah.
I would say that's coming from somewhere else. Um, but I would look at detoxification channels, just making sure your liver is happy, making sure things are flowing. Pluto is about detox, and it can also be about hormones. So if somebody, this is everybody
Yeah.
though, not just Aquarius rising, um, you know, especially females or those assigned female at birth, hormones can lead to the reproductive hormones can really go out of whack and lead to weight gain. So kind of just getting your hormones checked, seeing where that's at.
Mm.
That's more a Pluto thing rather than Aquarius itself shouldn't be about weight gain.
Yeah. I wonder if it's a Jupiter Uranus conjunction. I would ask, where do you have, so
Yeah.
they would have a Taurus in their fourth house, right?
Mm,
Hmm. If you
mm,
full sign.
yeah.
Well, I would wonder how that hit their chart is what I'm getting
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah. And just looking at, I would look at progressed moon for
Oh
weight
yeah.
gain as well. What sign has your progressed moon gone into? Because we often need a lot of nutrients around progressed moons, and yeah, what is that hitting on as well? So, um, yeah, Jupiter is really the weight gain planet. Jupiter and Venus,
Mhm.
you know, as much as we call them your benefic planets, right? Traditionally, we have the malefics or the hard bringers,
Mhm.
which are Saturn and Mars. Saturn and Mars are both really useful for weight loss, whereas Jupiter is about fats and it's about weight gain. And Venus rules sugar and sweets and luxury. And I actually think in modern times, Jupiter and Venus cause a lot of our ailments because of luxury and
Oh
indulgence. And we
yeah.
have access to so much food. Yes, there's a lot of people that don't have enough money for food, but in general, we have access to a lot of very yummy tasting, poor quality food.
Mhm.
Whereas
Okay.
Mars is about exercise. I always talk about where your Mars is a great thing to look at how to exercise, depending on what house it's in. And Saturn is about structure and form. And, and, you know, we use Saturn for weight loss.
And then
Yeah.
Mars and
Opposite to
Saturn are
Jupiter.
coming to square. So is Jupiter's coming to square
I
Saturn.
know.
So this is a good energetic new moon, don't you think? With Mercury
Mm. Yeah.
retrograde, Venus going to Virgo.
Yeah. I think it's a
To,
good time to address what you're eating and what you're doing, you know, sport wise or fitness wise. And even if it's just walking, walking is proving to be in research at the moment just amazing and everyone's underrating it. I had a client turn up 2 days ago. I logged on Zoom and they were on their desk treadmill talking to me, but they were like this the whole time he was talking. And I was like, you have to stop. I cannot, I get vertigo. It's a
uh-huh.
very Aries thing. And I was like, you have to get off that treadmill. I can't talk to you while you're moving. It was so funny.
Talk
Yeah.
about a multitasker. Were they a Gemini?
No, they were a Leo.
Oh, okay.
But I wasn't actually doing their astrology, although I am going to peek and look.
Hmm.
Um, they were a Leo. It was
Oh,
actually his birth. I love doing consults for people right around their birthday. Their birthday had been the day before.
ah, okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. But they weren't an astrology client. They were just a health client.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you do both. Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah. So I practice, I specialize in sports nutrition. Mars, Moon, and Sag, very sports nutrition. And so I see people naturopathically, mainly athletes. And then I have my whole medical astrology side. So yeah.
Mm. Oh,
Yeah.
Joanna asked me about doing a reel about Venezuela. I'll talk about it on the
Oh,
podcast. That's really interesting about
what's,
the election there. What has
oh,
happened
I have no
is,
idea. Tell
yeah,
me.
so in Venezuela is so Mars and Jupiter and Gemini. So there was an election and the leader Maduro says he won, but the opposition say they won,
Oh,
and it's a big. People are in the streets.
oh,
It's a very
oh.
European. Yeah.
Gonna need to be a recount, Mercury retro. Often
Mm-hmm.
elections around Mercury retro too, aren't they? Didn't we
Mm-hmm.
have Mercury retro the year in the US when there had to be some big recount?
I think so. Yes, yes. In 2000, I think
I feel
Mercury
like
was
that was like
retrograde.
Bush
Mhm.
Jr. or something.
Yeah,
I
Bush
don't
four.
remember.
That was insane. Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll talk about that on the podcast. Okay. Let's see if I missed any. If you could make a digital version, I'm not sure what that
Oh,
was asking
she's
you
talking
about.
about the chart.
Oh, oh, the charts that you
I
did. Okay.
think so. I think so. Yeah.
Mm. Oh, someone's saying eating a lot of fruits can contribute to weight gain. What do you think about that?
Well, eating too much fruit,
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
fruit
It's sugar.
fruit
Yeah.
is sugar. Yeah, it's fructose. It's glucose and fructose. Fruits aren't just pure fructose. Whole fruits are a lot better than fruit juice because we've removed the fiber. But yeah, too much fruit is too much sugar. You know, 2 to 3 pieces of fruit a day is kind of the max unless you're doing a lot of sport. You know, my dad, bless his whole soul, he's
Uh-huh.
87, and a few years ago he decided to give up. He's a
Yeah.
Sag, all sugar, chocolate's his thing. It was like, I'm 3 kilo, 5 pounds overweight. I've got to stop eating chocolate. He's like, so I've given up all sugar. And then I was talking to him about what he ate, and he was eating 7 pieces of fruit a day. And I'm like, Dad, that's the same as eating sugar. Like,
Yeah.
it's too much. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, how funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Our
ooh,
body,
someone's
yeah.
asking. Oh, Micaiah is asking. Do you have like 2 or 3 extra minutes if
Oh,
we
sure.
go
I'm
a little over?
fine. I'm
Okay.
fine.
Micaiah's asking. They've been ongoing flare for 5 years, triggered by losing my newborn. Is there a
Oh,
way in a chart to see if an illness has a cycle?
look. Ooh, that's a tough one. So I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Um, yes, every planet has a cycle. So you would really need to look back at when that happened, sadly, for where everything was and what that trigger is. The one thing that pops to mind, which isn't so medical though, but often a lot of medical ailments are triggered by Mars, right? Mars is inflammatory. But we also talk about grief being a Mars cycle, right? And Mars is what, 2 to 2.25 years to go all the
Mm-hmm.
way around. And so we often talk about getting, and I know you're saying 5 years, but I often look at Mars cycles for illnesses. But if it's gone to 5 years, I would look at Saturn because Saturn has that 7 year square. But you'd have to look at, you need to see the whole chart to see really what's going on there, or why it's what was going into what house, and what was on the ascendant, what was in the sixth house. Basically in medical astrology, you really have to look at where the flare health wise has come from, what part of the chart, and then you look at those planet cycles. So it's not so simple.
And are you taking on new clients if people wanted to come for a reading with
I'm
you?
so sorry. I'm not, because I'm trying to finish my book. So
Okay.
my website does have a place to put your name down on a wait list. And my also has, right near that wait list, is a list of other practitioners that I've mentored and trained who are taking clients. So there's some great practitioners. I've got them to kind of list all the things they do. And yeah, as soon as the book's done, I will be seeing clients, but I'll be working my way through the list. I did create, I have a ton of classes on my website, which are self-paced. And I created some new ones just because I was shutting down seeing clients for a while.
And what's your website again, so people can go there?
Sure. It's the same as my Instagram handle, astrologyofhealth.com.
Okay.
And there's tons of links to different podcasts I've been on. So you can learn on different topics. So there's lots to learn for free on the website as well.
Yeah. But yeah, if someone's having a health issue, that cycle, I'd recommend they go look and find someone you've trained to get a reading with.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some amazing people listed. And I feel horrible that I'm not seeing clients currently. And the wait list is building, but otherwise I'm never going to get the book done. And that way that's more info for more people.
Exactly. Yeah. And Rosie's saying they've had a medical event during a Saturn square, the 36-year-old one, and it changed their life, and they have a chronic condition.
Yeah. And so working with your Saturn is really big, right? And I guess a good thing to finish on in some ways is every planet can cause an ailment. But let me also remind you, every transit does not cause an illness, right? Like, as much as we look at transits and we're like, oh my God, what's that going to be? I don't predict health ailments. That's ethically incredibly dangerous and wrong. Sometimes a transit can actually be the resolution of an ailment. It can be learning about why the ailment happened and what to do about it, even on a physical, spiritual, emotional, psychological level. And often the planets that cause us health issues are the planets that have felt a little bit ignored, right? Like that little naughty kid in the back of the class. It's like, if we don't pay attention to things, they kind of call our attention to it. So where the planet, if you figured out what planet's causing the issues, we need to go give a lot of love to that planet.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Tara all talks about living a planet first for a year. And you can do that if you know which planet is associated with your ailment.
Absolutely.
Well, anything else you have coming up that you want to share with people before we head off?
I think no, I'm here. I'm on socials. If you can find me, obviously. And what else do I have going on? No, just lots of online classes. If you hop on the website, you'll see what I'm up to. And no, I'm just going to get the book done.
Yes. Well, good luck getting your book done. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. This was
so
great.
Good to see you, Celeste. I'm going to see you in a few months.
Yes, I look forward to it. I'll make you a collaborator if you want to put this on your wall.
I would love to put it on my wall.
Great. And we'll be seeing each other soon. Thank you
everybody.
So much for taking the time. I appreciate it so much.
See
I look
everybody.
forward to seeing you soon.
Bye.
Bye.